The Western powers don't really care about the people of Ukraine. They are using the war in Ukraine to justify the expansion of Nato. I think the similarities between what's happening in Ukraine and what is happening in Yemen and Palestine, what happened in Iraq, what happened in Afghanistan, is that they are all imperialist wars. Putin is a bloody imperialist who believes he has the right to invade Ukraine, to expand the Russian Empire. And that is part of a long and bloody tradition that goes back to the Stalinist regimes and to the Russian czars. But very similarly, we have seen the US and the UK and France, in many cases, involved in absolutely brutal imperialist wars. I was involved in organising the big protests back in 2003, before the war in Iraq. And remember how the United States and the UK told a pack of lies about weapons of mass destruction in order to justify a murderous war that claimed the lives of 1 million people. I think the double standards where European leaders, my own government, condemn rightly Putin's bloody war, imperialist war in Ukraine, but then stay silent about the US-UK supported Saudi war in Yemen, where hundreds of thousands of people have died, where millions of people are on the brink of starvation. It is shocking double standards to condemn one war and not condemn the other. And we need to raise our voice against all imperialism, no matter where it is, whether it's the imperialism of Israel, supported by the West, the imperialism of Saudi, supported by the West, or the imperialism of Putin in Ukraine. Because within days, they imposed sanctions on Putin. But when it comes to Israel, 70 years of ethnic cleansing and apartheid imposed on the people of Palestine. In recent years, 3 murderous assaults on the people of Gaza. Day in, day out, the ethnic cleansing of East Jerusalem, of West Bank, millions of Palestinians in refugee camps in Lebanon, in Syria and Jordan who are denied the right to return to their homes. No sanctions from the West, no sanctions against Israel, even though there has been a huge campaign demanding that sanctions would be imposed on Israel. This is incredible hypocrisy, it's incredible double standards. And of course, what it shows is that even when it comes to Ukraine, the Western powers don't really care about the people of Ukraine. They are using the war in Ukraine to justify the expansion of Nato, to encourage more military spending, to rehabilitate the credibility of the US and the UK and France, so that they can conduct other wars elsewhere. So we have to stand against all them empires. And this is a very important tradition in Ireland. Ireland is a neutral country, and that doesn't mean we don't care about these wars. It's the opposite. Our neutrality came from the Irish Revolution, which was a revolution against the British Empire, and it also took place against the background of the First World War, where the Irish rebels revolted against Britain as part of a revolt against the whole slaughter of all the imperial powers in the First World War. And we need to uphold that tradition of standing against all empires, all imperialists, all warmongers and all despots. We are at an important moment when you look at the horrendous war in Yemen, how long it's gone on, the terrible suffering that people are facing there. When you look at what happened in Iraq, the disaster that the US-led war inflicted, and now we see it in Ukraine. This needs to be a moment where we say we can't allow this warmongering and imperialism to continue.